nails, radiance, luster, strength, vitality. This is the product that does it for you, midnight tonight. Okay, really thrilled this is in the show. Really thrilled. We launched Samurai smoke detectors a couple years ago now. Next generation life-saving technology, and they sell out every single time. We were able to get extra quantity in because the good folks at Samurai gave us some quantity that was scheduled for other retailers, and I'm thrilled they did. HSN has played their part in keeping the same discounted price. When you think of a smoke detector, for many of us, we think of that much bigger design that's on the ceiling, but maybe is hanging down. Maybe there's wires coming out. Maybe you took the battery out because it was chirping all night long and you couldn't stand it. When you think of smoke detectors, you think of a lot of false alarms. You think of always having to replace the battery as well. This smoke detector looks different because it is different. This smoke detector has a 10-year battery built in. So a battery that you don't need to worry about for the next decade. That's hassle-free, fuss-free. But there's more to it. Inside this smoke detector is an advanced photoelectric sensor, which means more accuracy and less false alarms. They're expensive at retail. Similar technology can be really over $100. Normally with Samurai, they charge around $35 to $40 for a smoke detector. We're sending you 2 of the smoke detectors tonight and a carbon monoxide detector, which normally retails for around $45, $50. So you're looking potentially at a lot more than what we have on the screen at just $62 and change. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a major problem across the country. It's known as the silent killer. When we had this on last week, one of our fabulous producers, his name is Rick, married to Nancy, wonderful couple, been married for many, many years. They were selling their house. He said, Adam, I want to tell you something. It might help you when you're presenting this. I said, okay. He said, we were selling our house and the inspector came to inspect it, and the inspector found out that we had a gas leak that had been going on for nearly 2 years. Now, it wasn't so bad that, thank God, it wasn't fatal, but it was there. And they had not been feeling so well over those 2 years. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a problem. Most people do not have a carbon monoxide detector in their home. This will give it to you. If you only buy one thing today, tonight, I don't think anybody would mind me saying, buy this. The reason these have been so popular is because they are a lot less than others that you can find in the market. Our expert is Mr. Joe Harrison. And Joe, first of all, it's great to see you. You have always said that you are safer with Samurai by your side. And this technology at this price really is a breakthrough.
Especially when you talk about the existing technology we have. Adam, most of us have these. Technology in here was designed in the 60s, over 6 decades ago. And this technology has come out in the last decade, but it's proven technology. And like Adam mentioned, this has something called photoelectric cells. And what that does is it constantly measures the air, but it knows the difference between steam coming off your shower and smoke coming off of your oven. It is a smarter, more protective, more alert way to protect your home. But the other thing about these is, if you have this hanging in your house, just think about it right now. When did you install that? Or maybe when did you buy that house? Or maybe when was the house built that you just bought? Because these are supposed to get replaced every 10 years. Could you say you're doing that? And that's not just me saying this or recommending it. It's the U.S. Fire Administration recommends we change our smoke detectors every 10 years. And the reason why, the sensors that are on here, they're designed to analyze the air, but it's also the smoke, the dander, the dust, the debris that's floating in the air. Have you ever seen an air filter after a couple of months? Imagine what this looks like after 10 years. It starts to lose its effectiveness. So you need to replace these, but when you replace it with this, first off, it's more small, it's more compact, it has a better alarm, a better sensor, and like Adam mentioned, a 10-year battery comes with it. Because with this guy here, you have that little door, it's supposed to open it up, change the batteries every 6 months. If you have a lot of these, that becomes a lot of cost in batteries. With this, all you do is you push that button every 6 months to test it, to make sure it's working perfectly. And Adam, if you're looking at this thinking, I would love to have this technology in my house, how easy is it to install? Well, first off, all you need is eye level and above, and that's it. But we're making it super simple. If you have a screwdriver, we give you the screws. But if you don't even have a screwdriver, Adam, we're giving you 3M adhesive tape. As long as this is sticking to a flat surface, you attach that on there, just like I'm showing you here. Any wall, any flat surface, any ceiling, it attaches, it hangs on there, and you're good to go. The only other thing you have to do, Adam, when you open this up, the batteries are already included. So underneath that cap there, there's a little plastic tab. You pull that tab out, that starts day one. So here we are, Adam, in 2021. This is 10 years worth of peace of mind because it's not going to start constantly chirping until 2031 when it's time to change it again. So 10 years peace of mind in 10 years, saving yourself from going up and down that ladder.
Well, it is, of course, happening again, as it has done all year long. We are now down to the final 1,100. We're taking final orders now. Now, although Samurai were able to do what they've been able to do in giving us the extra, there are no more. I don't have any advanced order or extended delivery. These are in stock for immediate shipment, but we are now obviously running out once again. What Joe said is important because for me, like I'm sure many of you, a box will arrive and you hear, uh-oh, there's a few moving parts in there. I'll do it tomorrow. With this, there's no hassle because the minute you take it out of the box, you use the 3M sticky tape and you can instantly stick it on the wall and you're good to go. Remember, the 10-year battery is included. It doesn't have to be on the ceiling. It can be, but you could just put it on the wall. We must protect ourselves. House fires are way too common. Carbon monoxide poisoning is way too prevalent. You have to have the right tools to protect yourself. Whether it becomes a smarter smoke detector, whether it becomes better technology to make it more accurate, or whether it's just a beautiful new design. You can't trust that smoke detector that's been in your home for 10, 15, 20 years. It's not perhaps the way it should be. Remember, tonight, normally, you would spend $40 each on each smoke detector and another $45 on the carbon monoxide. So 40, 40, 45. We're doing all three for $62.99. So you get the extra savings, you get the 10-year limited warranty, you get the 10-year battery, and you get that extra peace of mind that comes with getting that newest generation of life-saving technology. I've said it a million times, and I'll happily say it again. I bought mine the first time Joe ever aired it. These are what we have in our home. I love them. I was fed up and tired of ours always beeping. And it was always, as the story goes, as you know, in the middle of the night. But the sad thing is, the scary thing is, I knowingly took the battery out and left it without a battery. If you're doing the same thing, we got to stop that. Joe, that's potentially lethal. I understand why we do it, but this solves all those problems.
Get a good night's sleep. So you take the batteries out of here, but the bad statistic, Adam, is from the U.S. Fire Administration. They say 3 out of 5 home fire deaths have smoke alarms with no batteries in them. Because you get the chirp, you take it out, you're like, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, turns into next month, and this thing isn't effective anymore. And that's kind of what happened to me. I didn't have a house fire. However, I was down at HSN. My wife calls me up. She's like, I called 911. I smell something. And she couldn't determine where it was coming from. Fire department shows up. They determined there was wiring behind one of our electrical outlets was starting to melt and starting to get hot. My smoke detector that was about 15 feet away wasn't going off. It was my wife who was smelling it. And then that's when it hit me that when the fire department said, you got to change these every 10 years. Well, that happened to be in 2005. But my house was built in 1988. Adam, I was using 17-year-old smoke detectors that lost their effectiveness. It was my wife who smelled it. But if she wasn't home, that could have turned into a complete house fire. These things need to be changed every 10 years. So when you end up getting to this, you have that advanced technology. You also have that battery, that 10-year battery that's built in. And just to show you how much it's going to save you, if you have 3 of these and you change the batteries every 6 months, this is what your batteries, this is what 10 years worth of batteries is going to look like. It cost me $92 just to buy 10 years worth of batteries. It would actually save me money to pick up the 3-pack today. And then on top of that, it's got the battery included. But the one thing these don't have, they don't have that carbon monoxide detector. And like Adam mentioned, it's quickly becoming one of the top reasons why people are calling 911. Because unlike smoke, you see it, you can smell it, you can taste it, it's off in the distance. But with carbon monoxide, you can't. You can't taste it, you can't smell it, you can't see it. You don't know until it hits you and you start inhaling this. And a lot of times you think, oh, I just must have had a bad meal. You don't realize it's carbon monoxide. But what you'll hear is this loud 85 decibel alarm. I just tested it. That's what you do every 6 months. But Adam, it's that quick chirp to tell you get out of the house right away. With the smoke detector, it's more of a slower, sweet beeping sound, so you know it's a slower one, so you've got time to get out. When you hear that fast beep, get out of the house right away. It's that carbon monoxide. Now, Adam, if you want to make sure your house is safe and sound, the new 2021 code is you have a smoke detector in every bedroom of your house, a smoke detector in every hallway leading to your living space. If you can't say you don't have that, you need to pick these up today. And you should have a carbon monoxide detector every 750 square feet. So, Adam, this is the best way to get your house up to code, get your house safe. Otherwise, Adam, we're relying on technology from 60 years ago to try to keep us safe.
Well, you can see we have around 700 or 800 now left, with everyone placing orders as we approach that 20,000 mark. Last call. I think it's, you know, this technology is new and it is more expensive. And I think when it is in the hundreds of dollars, then people take a step back, as I would, and say, well, maybe not today. But because Samurai have been able to deliver the advanced photoelectric sensor technology at a fraction of the price of other companies, it takes away the barrier. The fact that I don't need a toolbox, I don't need to ask somebody to install it from me, it takes away a barrier. Remember, this 3M sticky tape, you get 3 pieces of it, it's circular in shape, it sticks to the wall or the ceiling. You can have these installed and armed and ready to go in seconds. So there's nothing stopping you doing it. Fire's a serious business, and we certainly don't take it lightly. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a serious business, and it has to be addressed. Even if we're just shining a spotlight on that tonight, it's worth every moment of television time. Obviously, you can't buy every product we air, but I know nobody would mind me saying, of all the things we've aired, this certainly should be at the top of your list. I mentioned our producer Rick and his lovely wife Nancy, who had had a gas leak for nearly 2 years. They didn't know it. They fell ill seemingly all the time, and they didn't understand why. It was only because they were selling their house and an inspector came and said, you got a gas leak. If it had been stronger, it would have been fatal. Guys, you have to have a carbon monoxide detector. You have one in this. You have to have new, up-to-the-minute, up-to-date smoke detectors. You've got them in this. Our 3-pack tonight is still on the discount. So even when these sold out last week, you're getting that same discounted price, which I was thrilled to see, rather than it being the regular price. We have 600 people ordering. We have about 2 or 3 minutes left. Joe, it's a serious business, and we can't play games when it comes to fires or carbon monoxide poisoning.
Exactly right. This is that first line of defense to protect you, protect your family, protect your household and everything inside. And if you're relying on this technology, Adam, it's crazy to think this was designed in the 60s, and this is what a majority of people are keeping their house safe with. Now, in 1960, it was great. In the 70s, it was great. But in 2021, it's not. This is old sensor technology, and a lot of times it gets false alarms. You run a hot shower, you get a false alarm. You know, sometimes you just have steam running throughout the house off the stove, you get a false alarm. That new photoelectric cell, it knows the difference between steam and knows the difference between a fire, and it gives you that alert to let you know, get out of the house. A lot of times you get false alarms on here, and you're just thinking, I want to get a good night's sleep. So what do? You open up the compartment, you take the battery out, and now your smoke alarm is ineffective. When you get this, you see the size, it's more small, it's more compact. All you have to do is put this at eye level and above, and that's going to catch the carbon monoxide, that's going to catch the smoke. But when you get this at home, only thing you need to do, the battery's already installed. Samurai is making this as easy as possible. There's a little plastic tab. You pull that tab out, that starts day 1. It's not for another 10 years that you have to replace these, because you have that 10-year battery that is built inside. The only thing you need to do, every 6 months, hold down that button, test the alarm, make sure the alarm sounds great. It's that loud 85 decibel alarm. That's going to keep you safe. That's going to keep your family safe. And when you end up getting something as small and as compact as this, even if you have some that are current like this, Adam, it's better to have more technology in your home that's going to keep you safe. And this is all that Samurai does. All they do is they make safety and home safety items and personal security items. And here at HSN alone, over 400,000 safety items. This is another great item for your house.
Well, Joe, you can't keep it a secret any longer. I know the secret to your youthful, glowing skin, and I'm about to reveal it to the world. Are you okay with that?
Sure, Adam. Don't embarrass me.
Healthy hair, skin, and nails is how Joe, look at his hair. Look how thick and luscious his mane is. That is because of healthy hair, skin, and nails. Thank you, Joe, my friend. Great to see you. We'll see you soon.
See you, Adam. Good night.
Stay in the ordering process for your Samurai smoke detectors. The amazing Andrew Lessman is coming up in just 12